Good morning, sir. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself?
Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm 46 years old.
Is it your first time in Ukraine?
No, this is like my fourth or fifth time.
Why did you choose Ukraine of all places?
I've had experiences with Ukrainian women before in the past, and I found them very nice, and I like their values and their qualities. So just figured I'd come back and see what happens.
What's your impression of Odessa city?
Oh, I love Odessa. In a way, it kind of reminds me of in Paris in the structure, but as far as cost and stuff, it's kind of like going to Mexico in a way. It's very affordable, and it's very, the food's very good here. So,
How was the social party for you?
social party was good, and we had a good quality of women the first day. Unfortunately, we had a storm that hit, and unfortunately, that kind of put a damper on things because when it was a fairly large storm with a little tornado, so that kind of disrupted the city as far as electricity and things. So that kind of, unfortunately, put a damper on things.
Have you met someone special yet?
No, not yet. We've gone out on several dates, but really, as far as anybody special, nothing right now.
Do you feel any problems having cultural differences?
There are cultural differences, especially from the expectations, I think, of both the men and the women. We have certain expectations of what we think, and then you kind of run into the women, and they have what they are used to dealing with, and so there's always going to be some cultural differences between the two it's kind of hard, to explain until you get here. You would run into the women, you have expectations of what they would you expect to happen on a date or with meeting with them, and they have their own. So it's kind of a feeling your way through the first time you get here. And after you've been here once or twice and you see it, then you kind of know what to expect the next time you come.
What do you think of the hotel, its location, and its staff?
I think that the hotel is a great location. I've stayed at the other hotels here in town before, and this is by far the easier of the hotels to go to.
How about the staff of the hotel?
Staff is really helpful. They're responsive to any questions or inquiries that you have, so they're very nice.
Are there any comments on how we might improve the tour?
I know there's been several suggestions, especially from the men, because I didn't go to the third social, which went out to Nikolai, and that's only because I've done this before. And a lot of the guys complained that they didn't spend enough time there with the women they met. I think that's been talked to in the past about wanting to spend more time in Nikolai, maybe splitting the tour so that you would spend 3 or 4 days here in Odessa and then spending maybe 2 or 3 days in Nikolai, giving the chance for the guys to meet with the girls there, as opposed to being stationed in Odessa and then having to commute back and forth to Nikolai to go see these girls, or doing the other way, having the girls come over here, because then there's the added expense of the car fare to travel to Nikolai, having to find a hotel, or more likely you're going to end up in an apartment because the hotel's booked with another group coming from one of the other companies, and then you're kind of scrounging to try someplace, and then, or if you bring the girl here, you have to find her a place to stay. So, the expenditure of funds greatly accelerates quickly when you're having to do this. I think the other thing is most guys, when they come out here, I know you go through the tour packet and they kind of talk about stuff, how much money you should be spending. Some of that not included in there is how much you're going to be spending with your translators with these girls when you come out. And you're thinking, no, I'm not going to be spending that much money with the girls. But if you're on a 5-6 hour date with this girl and you're paying that translator, you're running anywhere from $90 to $120 just on the translator. And if you're paying for her food and her drink, that adds up. A lot of these guys, by the third or fourth day, are finding out that they're having to go to the ATM to pull money out because they didn't bring as much as they had thought. They weren't expecting that expenditure. Since I've been here before, I already knew that the money limit that they tell you to bring is nowhere near what you're going to need. So I usually bring about 3 times that much. But that makes me sure that I don't run out of funds when I'm here, and I'm not running to the ATM every day to pull out, $300-400.
Mike, would you recommend Anastasia Day to your friends?
Oh, I have in the past. I've told them definitely they're especially after you're dealing with the American women for a while, you get tired of it, and they want a nice woman. They said, well, yeah, you should come out and check out Odessa and come. Anastasia is by far one of the better companies to come out here with. I mean, the selection of women is great. So I have in the past recommended that guys join and try coming out here.
Mike, would you describe your ideal romantic evening?
Romantic evening. I mean, it would be nice, to have a girl and to go out to have a nice dinner, and then be able to communicate with her, and then just kind of spend the evening just talking about what my ideals and her ideals are like, and see if they match. Now, they don't have to be 100%, but you want somewhere, like someone said, you probably want like 60% common interest, because you want enough that it's you share certain things, but you have other things to explore with each other as far as interests goes.
Do you cook? And if you do, what's your favorite dish to cook?
I cook. My favorite dish to cook is spaghetti, but we also barbecue, we grill. Since I'm single, I'm only cooking for myself, so it really doesn't matter what I make. But when we have get-togethers, we usually throw a pretty good party.
What makes gentlemen from your area special?
You mean from my region of the country?
Yes.
Or region of the world?
No, your region in the country.
Oh, my region of the country. Well, because since we're from Texas, and I know any guys who are watching this in the U.S. are probably going, "Oh God, Texas." Well, we definitely are our own country, so we have a little bit more different values as far. I think we tend to be a little bit more gentlemanly like. We also don't tend to take too much guff from other people, and so we tend to be a little bit more of what people tend to think of as the old U.S. as opposed to what the new U.S. is becoming.
Southern hospitality.
Yes, definitely.
Who or what would you like to be in your next life, in your next reincarnation?
I don't believe in reincarnation. Being a Catholic, I'm taught that this is a one-shot deal, so I don't believe in reincarnation.
Okay. Do you believe in miracles?
Well, being Catholic, I have to believe in miracles, so there's no question about that.
And I have a very last question for you. Are you here to have fun, or are you looking for a serious relationship?
I came out here looking for a serious relationship. Unfortunately, I have not met the girl who I would like to spend the rest of my life with. Do I still think I'll run into her here? It's possibilities. But again, there's difference in ideals and expectations when you come here. So it's trying to find someone who can bridge that gap and come to understand what our expectations are versus what theirs are, to try to reach that point.
I wish you to find the right one sooner or later, eventually. And enjoy yourself in Odessa. Thank you very much, Mike. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Mike.